Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us today because we are going to dive into something that's entirely universal yet completely invisible to the naked eye. We're looking at the weather inside, navigating our internal emotional landscape. Now, think for a second about how much time in prep we dedicate to the physical weather outside, right? We're constantly checking our apps that, let's be honest, are completely wrong half the time anyway. We grab our umbrellas, we meticulously layer our clothes, but we rarely, if ever, give that same focused, structured attention to the climate happening right inside our own heads.
So, why do we spend so much energy fighting our own minds? It's a massive philosophical hook, isn't it? We process thousands of subtle and major feelings every single day, yet our default reaction to most of them, especially the uncomfortable ones, is just fierce resistance. I mean, we've all been there, right? Lying in bed at 2 a.m., desperately trying to force ourselves to fall asleep while our brain decides to run a marathon of anxiety. We actively fight our own thoughts. We brace against our internal world as if we can somehow build a permanent shelter that keeps our very own biology out.
Section 1. The illusion of control and curating the outside. Think about the sheer amount of time and effort we put into carefully curating our everyday lives. We spend our mornings choosing exactly the right clothes. We meticulously draft and redraft the words for a work email so we sound professional, but actually, scratch that. We want to sound professional, but not too aggressive, you know? And we construct this perfect aesthetic for our homes and our digital lives. It's all heavily focused on maintaining a really tight grip on how the outside world perceives us. We have this beautifully curated exterior. But then, on the flip side, we have the unpredictable interior, which operates exactly like the weather. We put all this immense energy into controlling our external image, completely masking the reality that, internally, we are entirely at the mercy of unpredictable emotional systems. You can wear a perfectly put-together outfit or flash the perfect smile, but inside, a literal hurricane might be making landfall.
Section 2. The storms. And we're going to start by reframing anger. Anger usually gets such a terrible reputation. Whenever we feel it bubbling up, we're almost immediately told to push it down. We're told to take a walk or to just breathe through it until it magically goes away. We basically treat it like a failure of our composure. But here's the thing. Anger is actually a flare gun. It's your brain telling you that something, somewhere, is deeply unfair. Imagine you're at work and someone blatantly takes credit for a project you poured your absolute heart into. That sudden, hot spike in your chest, that's the flare. We absolutely have to reframe how we view this emotion. It is not just a bad tantrum. It's not a loss of control. It is a deeply protective biological response. It's an internal alert system that recognizes when a boundary is crossed or a wrong has occurred. It desperately wants to protect you. It simply forgets to be polite about it.
Next up in the storms, reframing sadness.
Sadness operates on a completely different frequency than anger. If anger is a sudden, sharp track of thunder, well, sadness is the fog. It rolls in without asking, and it brings this profound physical heaviness with it. It slows us down, it makes us feel totally disconnected, even in a bright, sunny room. And so often, our modern instinct is to fight off this fog with forced positivity, treating it like some weird bug in our emotional operating system. But sadness is just love with nowhere to go. Just take a second to sit with that perspective shift. Sadness is not a malfunction. It's simply the price we pay for caring about things that matter. When you lose something you care deeply about, or when a connection shifts, that love doesn't just evaporate into thin air. No way. It turns into this heavy fog. It's a beautiful, albeit heavy, testament to your incredible capacity to care.
Moving into our third storm, reframing fear.
Fear makes the world incredibly loud, doesn't it? It accelerates everything. Suddenly your foot is tapping rhythmically, your heart rate spikes, and you are hyper-aware of every single tiny detail in your environment. Fear is an overactive alarm system convincing you that literally every shadow has teeth. And it's fascinating because fear lies to you. Think about hitting send on a risky text message or raising your hand to speak up in a crowded meeting. Your palms sweat, your stomach totally drops. Fear constantly lies to you about your own capabilities and tells you that the absolute worst-case scenario, total social rejection, utter ruin, is a guaranteed reality. But despite its dramatic lies, fear's ultimate overarching purpose is just to keep you alive. It heightens your senses so you can survive the metaphorical predators hiding in those shadows.
Section 3. The sun and understanding joy.
Okay, so after navigating the intense, frankly exhausting weather systems of anger, sadness, and fear, we finally arrive at the concept of joy. Joy is the sun cutting through after a storm. And what's absolutely vital to grasp here is that joy is not our default state. And it is definitely not just the passive absence of the other three emotions we just talked about. It is a breakthrough. Joy is that profound, sudden realization that you actually survived the storms. You survived the heavy fog of sadness, the loud, ringing alarms of fear, and the intense flares of anger. Joy is the light breaking through the clouds to remind you of your own incredible resilience.
Section 4. The Climate and Acceptance.
So, this is where we synthesize everything we've looked at in this explainer. For so long, we have been deeply conditioned to sort our emotions into neat little boxes, marked good and bad. We desperately want to hold on to joy, and we want to completely discard fear, anger, and sadness. But guys, that is fundamentally not how a functioning climate works. Think of the uncontrollable emotional storms, the heavy sadness, the sudden anger, the loud fear, as the rain. And our human capacity to feel, to connect, to live, and to grow, that is the garden. The absolute, undeniable truth of our emotional ecosystem is that you simply cannot have the garden without the rain. Feeling these deep, heavy, sometimes uncomfortable things just means you're human. The rain is exactly what makes the garden thrive.
If you take away absolutely anything from our time today, let it be this: feel it all. It's a stark, simple, and totally grounding reminder. Just let the weather happen. We have to stop trying to hold up a tiny, flimsy umbrella against the massive, hurricane-level weather systems of our own minds. It's exhausting, and honestly, it's a little absurd when you think about it. Experiencing these turbulent emotions doesn't mean you are broken. You aren't malfunctioning when you feel sad or angry. You are just experiencing the full, necessary spectrum of the human climate.
So, what would happen if you stopped fighting the rain? Just imagine the tremendous amount of energy you'd get back if you stopped resisting your own emotional weather. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I really hope you take this question with you, and the very next time a storm rolls in, maybe you'll just let it